Hey everyone, it's Eric Mochnez, Director of Operations at Red Clover.
And Jen Lestrange, CEO of Red Clover.
We took a bit of a hiatus, but we are back with our HR Quick Sips, which is brief HR guidance that you can enjoy over a cup of coffee in the morning before you start your day.
Yep.
Today we're going to be talking about organizational restructuring. We'll do a brief intro to the topic and then check out later where we do a coffee chat where Jen and I do a longer conversation about the same topic.
We'll try not to make it too long, so we could talk for hours about this.
We could. So let's jump right in. First, for maybe small business owners who don't know what organizational restructuring is, Jen, what do you mean when we use the term?
Okay, so most often when we're talking about organizational restructuring, it is a way of describing layoffs, more than one person, not performance related. So it can be related to poor performance of the business, but it's typically not when we're talking about individual performance issues. Sometimes we're looking at it just around reorganizing roles, or it can be a restructuring that happens on the back of some other business event that has required us to take a really hard look at what's going on the org chart and who's going to be in what job position or who's sitting in what seat.
Okay. Being that ultimately you started Red Clover to provide, outsourced HR to small businesses, and through the 10 years you've been in business, you and our team have helped small businesses through restructuring. What is probably the one indicator, or maybe the first or early indicator, that a small business may want to consider restructuring?
My gut was going to say the money, right? So profit margins, but sometimes what's tough with small business is oftentimes they don't have the forecasting tools. So they're not always working with a CFO or even a fractional CFO that can kind of give them that forecasting, that budget view where it's like, all right, we can see this coming. So oftentimes for the very small business, they come to us when it's really reached a level of criticality. So and I remember we worked on a project together where it was literally, we need to get this done or we're running out of money for payroll.
Yep.
And so I guess my word of caution would be think about getting the financial support early on, because those forecasting reports can really help before things get really critical.
Okay, so that's kind of that early predictor, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the thing in the
Profit
back of
margins are eroding, payroll starting to take up a larger percentage of the expenses on the P&L relative to the business coming in, decline in sales, change in some of the forecasting activity around sales if they've got that.
Great. Are there any other key signs that small businesses should be aware of that may trigger a need to critically move into a restructuring phase?
If people start leaving.
Okay. Talk to me more about that.
So people start leaving because they can, maybe intuitively they smell that things aren't going well, so they start to proactively leave on their own. And then the business owner is left with this kind of like juggling act where am I going to put the roles and responsibilities of what's left behind? And that almost preempts this idea of not so much a layoff situation, but how am I going to either find new people to come into these roles or redistribute the work among a smaller organization?
Great. Okay. Well, folks, that is just a tip of the iceberg. Jen and I have a lot of great ideas and other things we can talk about when it comes to organizational restructuring. So if you want to listen more, definitely check out our coffee chat where we talk about how to lead a successful organizational restructure without losing critical people in the organization.
That's really that'll be fun.
Yeah, and if you
back for more.
if you like our content, definitely make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and feel free to share with your network. And we will see you soon.